Don't respond to disrespect. Let the universe handle it. There's a strange kind of power in walking away without a word. Not out of fear, not out of weakness, but from a place so grounded that you no longer feel the need to lower yourself to meet someone else's chaos. That's when you begin to understand what real strength is. And that's when you begin to trust something bigger than yourself, the quiet, invisible force of life that we often call the universe. We all experience disrespect. Sometimes it's subtle, a passive-aggressive comment, a condescending tone, a dismissive glance. Other times it's direct and sharp, like a knife aimed straight at your worth. And the natural response is to fight back, to explain, to defend, to retaliate, because we feel the sting of injustice and want to restore balance right away. But emotionally evolved people, those who've been bruised, humbled, and rebuilt, know a deeper truth. You don't have to respond to every act of disrespect. In fact, sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is to let go and let the universe take care of it. Because it always does. Maybe not in your timeline, maybe not in the way you imagined, but the universe has a way of realigning what's out of order. And when you rise above the noise, when you resist the urge to fight dirty with someone already drowning in their own bitterness, you become untouchable. You win in silence. There's an ancient Stoic belief that the world is governed by logos, a kind of divine rationality that ensures order in the midst of chaos. The Stoics didn't seek revenge. They didn't even seek justice through retaliation. They trusted that the natural order of things would correct itself. That energy, good or bad, circulates back to its source. And so they chose to focus on what they could control, their response. Today we might call it karma, or universal justice, or energetic reciprocity. But the idea is the same. What people put out into the world, disrespect, cruelty, malice, eventually returns to them. And the person who walks away, instead of reacting, becomes a mirror that reflects that imbalance back on the offender. You don't have to raise your voice to be heard by the universe. When someone disrespects you, they're revealing their character, not yours. Responding with anger only entangles you in their emotional state. It pulls you into the mud where their power thrives. And once you're down there with them, you've already lost your peace, your clarity, your control. But when you stay rooted, when you say nothing, when you don't let their words enter your soul, that's when your silence becomes sacred. You're not suppressing your feelings. You're mastering them. You're not ignoring the pain. You're choosing not to multiply it. And you're not giving up the chance to win. You're letting the universe settle the score on your behalf. It's tempting to want to prove your worth when someone questions it. But ask yourself, why argue with someone who is committed to misunderstanding you? Why explain yourself to someone who speaks from their own insecurity? Why chase closure from someone who was never open? You don't need to prove anything to people who never valued you in the first place. Their disrespect says more about what they lack than what you do. And this is where real self-respect begins, in the refusal to seek validation from those who don't know your value. People often think silence is passive, but silence, when chosen intentionally, is an act of radical self-worth. It says, I don't need your approval. I know who I am. It says, I won't let your smallness define my energy. It says, this is not my fight, because not every insult is worth your breath. Not every lie is worth correcting. Not every wound needs your reaction. Sometimes the best response is no response. Just watch, just observe, just walk away and watch how life takes care of the rest. The universe is slow, but it is thorough. The one who betrayed your trust, they will be met with betrayal. The one who disrespected you out of arrogance, life will humble them. The one who used you and discarded you, they will know what it feels like to be abandoned when they need someone the most. But you, if you stay silent, if you stay graceful, if you stay true, you will be protected. That's the part we often forget. When you don't respond to disrespect, you're not surrendering your power. You're aligning with a higher form of it. You're trusting that peace, truth, and time are all you need. Because people will forget what you said in the moment, but they will never forget the way you walked away, unshaken, undiminished, and whole. This doesn't mean you tolerate abuse. It means you stop negotiating your value. You stop pleading for basic decency. You stop giving energy to those who drain it. You set boundaries not to control others, but to honor yourself. And the highest boundary is silence. You no longer argue with those who live in drama. You no longer defend your heart to those who choose to break it. You no longer waste your wisdom on people who only want noise. You become still, clear, centered. And from that center, the universe works, because you've done your part. You've released the need to control outcomes. You've detached from ego and stepped into grace. You've said, "This is who I am, and I will not be shaken by the unhealed voices of others." That kind of presence has gravity. It draws in truth, it repels falsehood, and it transforms pain into wisdom. Let them talk. Let them lie. Let them disrespect. You stay focused. You stay calm. You stay you. Because when you don't respond, when you remove your energy from the equation, when you rise above instead of digging in, that's when they feel the weight of their own words. That's when their conscience begins to whisper. That's when the silence they created by pushing you away begins to echo in their own heart. And that echo, that's the universe answering for you. There is a law written into the fabric of life. What you put out, you receive. What you project, returns. What you inflict on others, eventually visits your doorstep. So let people reveal themselves. Don't interrupt their karma by trying to fix, fight, or explain. Walk away, not with resentment, but with reverence for your peace, your energy, and your future. Because here's what's beautiful. When you stop responding to disrespect, you create space for what truly respects you. You make room for people who honor your silence, who value your heart, who don't need to be loud to be loyal. That's the real reward. You lose nothing by letting go of people who never saw you clearly. You gain everything by choosing yourself. So don't respond. Don't retaliate. Don't explain. Let the universe handle what your ego wants to fix. Let time reveal what truth never hides. Let silence be the ground where your strength takes root. Because in the end, the one who speaks less holds more power. And the one who walks away without a word, without a grudge, without a need to be right, wins the deepest kind of victory: peace.